Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And it is October, and it is spooky season, and we are playing with the Witch's Tarot. And the Witch's Tarot is a deck that I've had in my collection a really long time. I have kind of avoided playing with it on these videos because a lot of the imagery is very photorealistic and very nude. So I am not playing with a full deck this month, and I mean the cards, not just me. And we have removed all of the ones that may be getting me removed from YouTube and other social medias that I post this to. So without those cards in here, I still promise you there are some really interesting cards and some interesting imagery, but I'm trying to avoid showing off the cards that may get me busted for nudity on there. So with that said, it is the Witch's Tarot. It is witchy season. So let's see what card we have for today. All right, okay. Obviously, this is the 3, says right down here, of swords, and the swords are represented. You will find in this deck that they stick pretty strict to the imagery of the traditional tarot, and the swords are swords, the cups are cups, as we've seen so far, and obviously you're going to see the whole thing on the card. We don't have any borders. On this one, you can see the 3 more clearly because it's written in white lettering where the background is more dark, the image itself, her red dress. So this is where I'm going to go into how the color on choices on some of these cards are not ideal and not sticking to the symbology. So we know that swords are representative of air. We do have kind of an air-like quality to this where you can see that there is wind of some kind of pushing her skirts and her hair off to the side. You can see there's kind of like a clouds in the sky. So we can assume that there are some winds and things in there. But other than that, I don't see any yellows or wind kind of things happening. So we stick to some of the symbolism, but not all of the symbolism in this deck. Now, that said, this, even though it is one of the few 3 of swords that I have ever seen that does not have a heart on it, I still think that it holds true to the representation of and the meanings of the card. So we have the 3 swords, obviously. She's kind of standing between these 2 pillar-like swords, and there's a path, and there's a 3rd sword floating in the air. As I mentioned before, there's the clouds in the sky, and we've mentioned this on some of the other cards. Clouds are important. So if you see clouds on a card and it doesn't seem to represent the meaning of the card, they may not know that clouds are important. So if you see clouds, in this case, dark, gray, kind of storm cloud looking things, this is sticking with the meaning of those clouds. Dark clouds, storm clouds, blackening clouds, lightning, things of that nature all represent some sort of suffering, some sort of strife, depression, anxiety, concerns, just that cloudy sort of feeling that we get when we're having a bad day and we're in a bad mood. So the clouds in this case do represent the struggle of this card. The mountains also represent struggle. So very often this card doesn't have any mountains in it because it's super focused on the heart and the swords and rain and all of those kinds of things. But mountains also represent struggle. So betrayal and all of the things that kind of go with that of feeling guilt or feeling shamed or feeling betrayed are all represented so far on this card. Now the pathway, I like that aspect of it just because I feel like if you are trying to step out of a situation that is bad and you know that it's a bad situation, sometimes there is only one way to go. There is only one path. So it's not this big open space. She has to walk through this fire, so to speak. She has to walk between these swords and under this one, and not necessarily in a limbo game, but she has to walk through this in order to get to the other side of it. And very much the Three of Swords is representative of a struggle that you just have to go through. There isn't a way around it. There is not another path. You do not get to choose another way to go. You have to push through this. This is a lesson. This is a learning experience. Whether you are the betrayer or you are the one betrayed, you still have to go through this process and go through this lesson. And I feel like in every single person's life, the Three of Swords is going to come up at least once. And yes, you are either going to be the betrayer or the betrayed. No matter how you look at this is our lives. We are either going to be the good guy or the bad guy at least once. So keep that in mind when this card comes up, that it is very much not just a card of guilt, betrayal, all of those things, but also one of a lesson and pushing through to the other side of that lesson. If you don't get this lesson the first time, it's probably going to pop up again, and you're probably going to have to go through it again, because you have to pass these tests to kind of be forged. I'm totally going with the, theme of steel. You have to be forged in fire kind of thing. By the way, fire is not representative of swords. It is air. Either way, it is a lot of overthinking. It is a lot of guilt and betrayal and all of those things in this card. I do like the imagery on this, even though it is not the traditional swords being poked into the heart kind of imagery. I will say that everything else about this, to me, still represents that card and that meaning of that card. I just want to see her hand, too. She is kind of pointing in a way, and I'm sure that is representative of something that is not coming to my mind right now. So this is where you get to leave a comment below and tell me, like, how you think this is meaningful to this card. It may be just she's just pointing in a direction. I don't know. It also happens to be, I think it's the right hand. Is that a right hand, a left hand? I don't know. I think it's her left hand. It's her left hand. Okay. So it is her left hand, which that could have meaning too. I'm just saying. It is the Witch's Tarot, so left hand, right hand does become a thing. I may talk about that in one of the other cards where it's more represented. Either way, I like this card. I do like that the font is a little more visible on this one, and that, yes, the symbol for the suit is clearly represented, and she is underneath that whole thing. So, thank you. I hope you are enjoying spooky season as much as I am. I love October, and not just because it is my birthday month and Halloween and all of that, and I love fall and all those things. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay spooky.